The most news in the morning. CNN's American Morning. Weekday, 6 a.m. Eastern.
Now the clock is really ticking on American troops in Iraq. 18 months to beef up Iraq's border patrol before all U.S. forces plan to leave. Then what?
How big of an influence does Iran have in what goes on here?
Well, I think it's huge.
Iran didn't sign a security agreement like we did. Iran doesn't have a responsible drawdown of forces like we do. Iran doesn't have a timetable to be out when we do.
Out to the tarmac and then on board the Black Hawk. We fly all the way out to Iraq's border with Iran. Together, a small group of Iraqi and American troops man the remote, rugged outpost at Saab.
You have to pay attention to the fact that, we have a mildly aggressive nation right next door, a nation that has interest here.
So soldiers have to be extremely careful they don't cross the dividing line, which doesn't divide much at all. For years, people have lived on top of what's now an arbitrary line between Iraq and Iran.
Difficult situation because you have villages who have family ties as well as tribal ties in both countries.
Just a few years ago, parts of the border were wide open and completely unprotected. Iraqi militants, backed by Iranian money, controlled a lot of what came into the country. Now there are numerous stations like this one where Iraqi officials keep an eye on their own border.
The Department of Border Enforcement is better, but the border itself, too big. It stretches for 1,500 kilometers, nearly 1,000 miles, and U.S. commanders accuse Iran of using Iraqi truck drivers to smuggle weapons to militants.
The thing is, everything is connected. Iran's influence may start at the border, but it spreads deep into the provinces and cities like here in Nasiriyah.
And that's where Iran is buying even more influence. Iran is getting water and electricity to Iraqi families whose own government can't keep the power on.
As long as they continue to accept that, they're not producing it themselves. So it becomes an economic battle as well as a military battle.
Neither of which is one where American troops can engage their rival.
I mean, we can't fight Iran.